Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to something new. I've been wanting to make a tutorial on how to use the editor and how I make my maps. I thought this would be a cool little tutorial to teach you guys how to make, edit, and do your own scenarios. Now, I usually limit my scenarios to, well, what we vote for in the pinned comments down below in most of my videos. But today I thought, why not I give you a little bit of a, I don't know, a look at something that could possibly happen if we vote for it. And I thought it would be something cool to show how I make everything work in the background. So this is what happens when you load up the editor. You're given a completely blank slate. There is nothing, absolutely nothing. So we are basically in what I like to call a void. There are many things you can do here, but let's first go over the controls. In order to control things, I'm going to limit this to just F3. We're not going any higher than that. And if you're asking what we're talking about, there are different modes in order to play this game. Now, F1 mode is just the game. If you click on F1, which is beside your escape above all the numbers on your keyboard, this is going to be where you play the game. This is where you can control the units, do all the stuff. Mind you, yours is going to look very different than mine because mine is just modded. It's all black and it has all this stuff. So yours is going to be very different comparably to mine. Mine's going to look a little bit more sleek, but that comes with the mods that I'm playing with. The second thing is F2. F2 is the world mode. This is basically the map. This is everything to do with the map. The buildings, the unusable cars, the walls, the ground, the water, anything that doesn't have to rely on you getting units into them or units by themselves. Now, both F2 and F3 mode can do the exact same thing, but there is a difference between the two. Okay, so let's get started. First things first. The difference between map mode and mission mode is the fact that they do the same thing, but they do it completely differently. With map mode, when you load a map, it loads anything that you put onto the map, as long as if you save it to the map. With missions, it's its own unique thing. You have to load that one by itself. So allow me to explain. Let's first load a map. So if we go up here and we hit that top button, which is the maps, and then we hit load, there are many different maps that I've made over the long period of times. Funny enough, you can actually even make folders of maps, which probably gonna have to teach you another time. But for now, let's just load a little test show that I've made. There we go, it's loading. Come on, you. So, welcome to the test map that I have been working on. This is going to be a base for the Red Cross. I've been wanting to do this for quite a while, and this is actually one of the options that many people could have voted for. Whether or not we do it or not, I don't know. I'm making this video before I actually uploaded the Army Men of the Dead video. So whether or not this works or not, we can use this for something else. Funny enough, actually, we're using the same map in our last battle. This, I guess you can say factory, was the factory. If I just remove that, and then, I think, where is it? It's that there, and let's say I just well, I can't move it, but if I move that over to there, then you would see the kind of blocks with the sandbags around it. So let's begin. How do you work a map? Well, first things first, let's talk about F2 mode. You have three different things. A camera or clip, which you can use for, I guess you can say, scenic or intros or outros or whatever. You have the land. This is very important because it allows you to, well, add on to maps, as you can see, and remove parts of maps as well. It also tells you know how high something can be. It's all on low, so let's just up this to max so I can show you. There you go. You can make hills. You can shrink it back down. There's different terrains that you can change to. You know, grass, and of course oceans. There's lots of stuff you can do here. But a cool thing about this, our F2 mode, is you can limit where the borders are. And allow me to explain what borders are. When I click on clip camera position, it will set me to a certain height that I can go, and I can't go off the map. I'm pushing upwards, but I'm not being able to go off the map. And that is because of the border. If I show where the borders are, we stop right where that yellow line is. I can't go past it. I can go past it here, but that's because the original map was over here, and it stops me still here. If I was player 1, it would be stopping me here. But the cool thing is you can edit where the map goes, where the borders are. So when I first had that first battle, that far back outline stopped about here. So we never used this part of the map. Now I can use this part of the map for an entirely another thing. You have to be resourceful, you know? And that's what I do love. So you can set borders. The green and yellow set where the camera's gonna go. And I'm gonna set that about here, where that should limit us. And I'm gonna set it for all players. So allow me to just show you. I'm gonna hit F6 here. This is like environment. You can set up different environments and stuff, as you can see here. Let's just set it to that. That seems better. And then we're gonna set it for all players. And now when I go to F1 mode, now it cuts off. Oh, hold on. The thing's there. We should be setting it there. There we go. So now it's an entirely new map. It doesn't load past this point. So anyway, that is basically camera and borders. These are very useful. Terrains, obviously, I kind of showed you a little bit of that. But now let's get into entities. Now, entities are basically everything on the map. Anything in blue you see here, that's an entity. This train stopper, that is an entity. The difference between the entities in the map, which is F2, and F3, which is the missions, is missions are loaded after. When I load up a map, it loads anything that I put on the map, which is basically F2 mode. So if I was to put down, let's say this elite soldier here, right? This boy right here. If I put down this boy and then I saved, then I save, reload the map, and boom, there he is. He's still here. Now, I do not recommend loading or putting units, entities, tanks, vehicles, anything that can be drivable, anything that can be usable in F2 mode. And the reason for it being is Men of War Assault Squad 2 is a very crashable, buggy game at some times. And the thing is, when you're loading in units, right? You're putting in units, you're putting in units, you're putting in units, right? In F2 mode, and then you save the map and you leave, and then you come back the next day, and something happens. Maybe just one file becomes corrupt of those units. You've lost the entire map. It's gone. But if you keep it in F3 mode, which is an entirely separate thing from the map, you can still have the map, but you're going to lose all your units. But you can always re-put back the units. It's basically saving 50% of your work. Okay, so now that we've kind of figured out the difference between F2 mode, F3 mode, and the main purposes of that, and we're gonna get through all of these, let's continue in F2 mode. So I've built this base here, but let's say I wanna, I don't know, add some more stuff to it, right? Like bases should have walls, should have towers, should have all sorts of stuff, right? So let's begin here. I wanna get rid of these. I can select a thing by simply, I can be drag, click, or I can just click. And mind you, if let's say there's like 3 things here. There's this kind of walk table, the wall, and some sort of patch of snow. If you hold shift, you can click and click out of stuff while clicking around. So there we go, that is what I wanted. But like, I'm gonna teach you guys the little, oh shoot. Okay, let's look, see I deleted that wall when I was aiming for the platform there. If you hit Control Z, you will, there it is, I've loaded back the wall. You can do that. That away, and that away. So you can undo things by hitting Control Z. Let's say, oh no, I moved this way over here. Whatever will I do, right? And I can hit Control and Z, and it's first select. It undoes the fact that I unselected it. And if I hit Control Z again, it now moved it back into where it originally was. If you ever make an uh-oh, hit Control Z, and it will undo the move or selection that you've done last. Another thing cool that you guys can do is you can actually move items, anything in this world. So let's just select that wall again. So let's say I want this wall to be deeper. If I hold A, I can now move my mouse up and down, and I can move the wall up and down. That. Okay, but now if I put it back, oh no, it's not equal, right? So I can hold A, lift it up a little bit, and there we go. Now it's equal. So that is something you can do. You can't do that with everything though. Stuff that usually stays on the floor, like this patch of dirt, if I hold A and I move it up and down, it still stays on the dirt. That is considered a land, or I guess you can say, land entity. So those things you cannot really lift. Same thing with this, there it is. Same thing with this. I can lift it up, but then it'll jump right back to where the map part is. And it doesn't matter, like, theoretically speaking, it should not be able to do this, and then there it goes, right? Lift it up, there it goes. So it just wants to stick as flat as it can to the map. Not everything is like this though, like the walls and buildings. Buildings I can move by themselves, but there are some things that want to stay on the floor. There are some things that want to stay up certain levels. There's different entities that want to do different things. So what's another thing I can teach you? Well, there's the Z, X, and C. Build this cannot be loaded dam, right? And I want to build a dam, right here. It's annoying to just click, 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 click. It works, but it's not center lined. But instead, if you click on something or you see anything you like on a map, you can select it like this, hit Control and C, which is the universal code for copying something. So you can do this on Windows Paint, text online. Most of you guys will know this. So, and then I copied it to my clipboard. And then if I hit Control V, which is paste, boom, now I have another one. It has been sunken, but instead of just clicking and click, 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 I can copy and paste something. This allows me to copy and paste scenery that I like. I like this kind of square thing here, right? So I'm holding Shift. I'm going to try to get it all here. Try to get it all. There we go. And I hit copy. And then I go, I don't know, maybe over here and hit paste. And maybe move it. Oh, I'm going to teach you how to do that too. Then look at that. I have now copied and pasted it over here. Just like A, if I select something, let's say this house, right? And then I hit and hold C, I can now rotate it with my mouse. So I can be very accurate on how I want it, where I want it, so on and so forth. Now, this actually takes a little bit of skill to learn, but there is another button to press. Z also turns something as well, but it doesn't move the object in, like if there's a hill, it will dig into the hill. C will try to angle it. So Z also turns it, but it keeps it flat. X is a much harder thing you can use because X, if I'm pushing X here, start moving my mouse, now we can start moving things in a very, very wacky way. So X is tricky, C and Z rotate it. C rotates it with the like hills and stuff, while Z keeps it flat, and A lifts stuff. Now let's talk about putting down stuff. Now there's a lot of things I like to do when I'm building a base. First things first, we need space. You want a base to be organized, but at the same time, compact. And this, my friend, is not very compact. So I'm gonna put it over there because I'm gonna want the walls to be open for different things. So now that I have this, I found something that I really want to add to it. So what I'm gonna do is I see it here. So I'm gonna zoom in, hold Shift, so it allows me to select more than one thing. I'm just gonna highlight and continue moving. Highlight, highlight. Make sure I get it. There we go. And I'm gonna hit copy, which is Control C. I'm gonna go off the map, make sure that your clip camera is off in order to go off the map. And I'm gonna paste it over here. What I like to do is I like to take things off the map and then pick at it. So we don't need that building. We don't need this building. We don't need that building. We don't need this building. We don't need these rails. That sandbag though can come in, useful. We're gonna delete that, carefully delete that. And I've also noticed that it's not all the way down. Down. Oh, interesting. That's actually a part of a building. I did not know that. I thought that was just a thing. Now we have an elevated platform that I'm going to use for my wall. I don't think we need all this stuff, so I want to tell you this before we do this. When you are trying to select something, you can try to do it this way and get underneath so you don't touch anything, but understand anything that's behind you when you're doing it like this. And then now I turn around, look, I've also selected a lot of the map. So you gotta be careful, guys. You can't just be selecting willy-nilly. Look at how many things you're selecting and then go, that's not 640. So make sure you know what's behind you. 32, now that makes more sense. Okay, so now we have this cool platform. I'm going to copy it like that. And now I'm going to go back over to our cool little base. I'm gonna paste it. Right like that, right there. Right like that. Look at that. Now we have a kind of standing thing that our soldiers can run on. I'm definitely going to copy it and paste it again. This time, that does not look really good now, does it? Not to mention it's the same copy and paste, and you want a little bit diversity when it comes to these things. So let's select this ladder by clicking, and then bring it over, and then hitting C, turning it like that. That looks good. And then we're gonna bring it in just like that. So now that we have just a let's sandbag these things up, and we'll put some units down in F3 mode. So now that we have an idea of a cool map, let's first off, let me load into, let me just put down some more of these guys. So let's get some sandbags. There's a little search bar down here that you guys can use in the F2 and F3 if you want, but I recommend F2 because it is scenery, and you can search sand. There we are, the sandbags. Sandbags, like all things, are just cover, I guess you can say. We're gonna do a little cool thing I like to do here. If you take a sandbag, copy and paste, you can kind of make, there we go. Ooh, that looks actually horrible. Ooh. There we are, that. Ooh. There we go, that looks a lot better. And let's put down these sand, oh boy. This is a little tricky because it's not on the most leveled ground. Bullet, there we go. Rinse and repeat. Ooh, easy, easy. It's not on level ground, so it does sometimes glitch out. That is okay. Here we go, there's another one. And maybe one more for fun. One thing I like to do is I copy and paste it, and then I put another one, smaller one, in front and then above, so then it gives you kind of like these heights in a way. And I'm going to copy it again, hit A and go low, and now you kind of have like this cool leveled sandbag. So let's do that with everybody here. Go. Paste. Put down with A. There we go. Spin that around with C. Copy paste because I want to copy that one exactly. Go down. There we go. And it's over here. And actually, no, we can keep that one low. And we'll go up high. That. We don't want too high because then the men can't use it as cover without being able to look over it. And there we go. Now that looks like more of a, I guess you can say, cooler sandbags. We do have sandbag parts that are sticking out. What I like to do with straights is I put down one and I copy it and I paste it. And then I lift it up, I hit S, which can shrink it, by the way. And now you have kind of a more leveled sandbag. And I'm gonna copy that too. Now let's load up some stuff in F3 mode. So remember, F2 to F3. Now we're in the missions. This is where I like to put my units. You guys can use F2 for units, but something goes corrupt and you lose the map and your units. You've lost all your work that you've worked very hard on. So let's load this up here. Go. Okay. So now let's try to figure out. I don't like the fact that there's this space. I think I'm gonna move. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna delete like that. Then I'm gonna move this entire one over. This will get to the point. Now, let's begin with F3 mode. F3 mode allows you to do many different things. The way you view, the game speed. There's actually game speeds that's more than just backspace. If you hit backspace, you can actually affect things, but there's more than just that. You can go to times 10. This only goes to times 5, but after this we have, of course, the entities, we have squads, you can load up. This is for stuff, waypoints, zones, triggers, movies, scenes, cover. Cover is actually really useful because you can see like what my troops can use for cover. See, it can register like, oh, we can put like 2 units there, 2 units there. That is cover. So like, if you ever want to add more cover, you can always click on this and you can see where there is cover. Okay, so now let's start putting down units. So first off there when you put down a, let's say, again, this just elite soldier here. This elite soldier here has its own properties and it has its own team. I'm going to teach you guys a little something. When you're in F3 mode, you can't do it in F2 mode, but you can do it in F3 mode. If I can change the keys with the numpad, the little letters on the side, you might have to enable it by hitting the num key, which is the top left of this little square. And then there's 1, which is player 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you can see the color of their changing. So this is player 1, or player 0 that it's on. If I go here, and before I put down the unit, I change to player 1. Now it's on player 1. So I can select this one, but I can't. So if I go back to the front, I can select this guy, but I can't select that guy because he's on player 1. This guy's on player 0. So, a unit selected and then you hit F2, or I think it's especially F3, he'll pull out a grenade or something. So just understand, make sure you're not selecting anything when you are going to change back to F3 mode. Let's get a couple more elites, maybe different types, some machine guns. That will do. And we're gonna select them all and copy and paste and copy and paste. We're gonna make sure that they're up top on the things.
Verstanden.
Sure they're holding their ground.
Jawohl.
Same thing, here we go. Machine gun.
Jawohl.
Machine gun.
Verstanden.
2,
Verstanden.
3. There we go. So now we kind of have all our units kind of defending this base. Let's give them something to attack. What should we attack them with? There's a soldier here. Oh yeah, I remember. I put him down in the beginning to try to explain the difference. Let's say Japan. By the way, spoiler warning, if you guys vote for, I think that was number 4. Let's put down some, and remember, I'm in player 2, not player 1, player 2. We're gonna put down some elite soldiers. You can actually, while you're having the mouse, you can use the keypad to flip to each one. There we go. And let's put these boys all over the place like that. There we go. Copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. There we go. So now we actually have units. I'm gonna turn down the volume a little bit. You guys probably won't hear the battle very well, but I don't wanna be too loud here. They are on team 1. These guys are on team 0. So they hate each other. They're different teams, they're different enemies. They're gonna fight.
Jawohl.
There we go. And the battle is on. There we go. Now we got the battle going. Look at that. I think the Japanese might have this, but we'll see. When you have higher cover, it allows you to shoot down, but when you take cover, you can stay in cover. You're much more covered when you duck down when you're facing an opponent that's lower than you. Especially the machine gunners. The machine gunners are so well covered. Like you have to shoot just basically that. Vehicles are interesting because just like infantry, they play a very important role. They can't be taken out by normal means. So let's let's get a tank. No, not modern. Let's go to World War III because this is why I got this mod. And let's go to Japan. What do we got here? We got, whoa, look at that thing. Okay, I officially now know what I'm gonna be adding. Oh, that'll be cool. We could do a couple little buggies with machine guns. I don't see why not. Ooh, yes. Iced. I think it requires, how much does it require? 3, actually. Amazing. Must be a robot taking over it or something. That's actually quite incredible. There we go. Select them. Get them into the tank. There they go. They now are going into the tank. And we're going to have a tank now in this battle. But, of course, we need to also equal, I would say, this tank with a Russian tank, obviously, as well. We have to make it somewhat fair. Because if I now throw a tank at them, these guys are screwed. Unless I give them bazooka boys. So now we're just gonna test this out. Well, all the men have noticed the tank. That's the interesting thing about tanks. If I go to, like, let's say this, they have noticed the tank, but they haven't noticed the men. So I'm just gonna... Oh boy, the bazooka guys are all charging in. A little bit of a dangerous move there. Yeah, you guys are all gonna get slaughtered. Damn, that machine gun moves by itself. That's pretty cool. Oh, Jesus! Yeah, this is why I said I don't think they're gonna win this. Even with extra men. Once that tank moves up, and oh boy, I don't think he's gonna win this. Yeah, the bazooka guys are not gonna come in handy here. It's close. Who's gonna shoot it? Oh my god. Yeah. Ooh, ineffective. Oh, yeah, no, that tank took him much more seriously than the other ones. Okay, so now that we have a basic battle going, I'm gonna let you guys play around with your own maps, your own stuff, try to figure it out. You won't have these units unless you download the World War III mod that's on Steam, and the zombie mod, which is another mod, but I've mixed those mods together. I don't recommend you guys doing it. Stick to World War III or Army Men or whatever you want to do and just have fun, play around, you know, and make your own world. You know, there's endless possibilities in this game. The modding community is great. Everything about this game is great. I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to continue working on this base, adding lots of stuff to it. I'm definitely going to move some more stuff around. I feel like maybe this should go back a bit, but maybe this can come forward, but that's besides the point. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys can learn some stuff. This is how I make my maps. I preload a map, I edit it till I find it really nice, and then I make a scenario. I try my best and I let it run. I record and just let it run. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any more questions about anything, obviously leave them down in the comments down below and I can try my best to answer them. This has been the first ever editor map / setup. Anyway, till next time, take care, guys. If you vote for this map, you know what you're gonna get now.